My heart is melting. That is the most adorable thing. Oh, look at it reaching up to Mum. I know it's scratching on her leg. And look at how small it is compared to the rest of the elephants in the herd, as well as Mum. Well, it is just before sunrise here in Kenya, and in my opinion, that is the best time to start safari. Today we are heading out with no expectations. We're just going to see what the beautiful Masai Mara has in store for us, and of course enjoy some really great scenery along the way. It's actually gotten to the point now where we can't really leave camp without encountering the migration herds, which I love. This is just something you will not find anywhere else on the planet. It's such an incredible sight to see this many wildebeest. Sounds are amazing to hear. There's just so many wildebeest bleating all over the place. You never know what kind of experience you're going to get the longer you sit with them. Sometimes it's just interesting interactions between the wildebeest themselves. You could also get predators coming through. I mean, we've seen so many interactions, just like with that lioness of the Olololo Pride and her youngsters hunting wildebeest. I mean, that could happen anytime, any place, as long as there's wildebeest around. And I think that's one of the reasons that makes the Mara, during this particular season of the year, so spectacular and so iconic. And another thing that you tend to see fairly frequently out here in the Mara is elephants. Oh, and look at this teeny tiny little nugget. Oh, sherbet, that's cute. Oh, look at it reaching up to Mum. I know it's scratching on her leg. My heart is melting. That is the most adorable thing I have seen in a very long time. And look at how small it is compared to the rest of the elephants in the herd, as well as Mum. It's teeny tiny. It can actually fit almost completely under her belly. And that is one of the ways that we actually age elephants, especially when they're this small. If they can fit under Mum's belly, the rule of thumb is that they're less than a year. But judging by how unsteady this one is on its feet, the way it keeps going to Mum for a little bit of reassurance, it's not straying far from her at all. In fact, it almost looks like it's maintaining skin-to-skin contact the entire time that we've been here. It keeps touching her with its trunk or with its leg or with its ears just to make sure that she's still there. That tells me that this little one is maybe a couple of weeks old. And just next to where this little baby is with Mum, there's also a bull on the opposite side of the road that's actually drinking out of a pan system. I love how we can get up close and actually see all the details on this guy's skin and on his trunk. And his trunk is going to be super muscular as well. All of these elephants actually. The little baby will take time to develop those muscles, of course, but their trunks are incredibly strong. And in fact, I think sometimes they use them almost better than we use our own hands. They use them to pick things up, to rip branches from trees, to drink, obviously to smell. They really are such incredible creatures. Oh, and here looks like a cheeky little youngster. What is he up to? Oh. He's playing around with the dirt. You're gonna go square up with your buddy there. Yeah, look at that. They are gonna square up. Oh, that's quite aggressive for two youngsters. It's definitely not a serious fight. They're not old enough to fight for dominance by any means, and the fact that they're still with the herd means they're still fairly young. At around the age of about 13 or 14 years old, these two will eventually get pushed out of the herd. So I'd guess they're probably maybe 11 or 12. They're just mucking about a little bit and chasing one another away. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's a black rhino in the thickets behind the elephants. Oh my goodness, I know it's not the greatest view, but that's crazy. That was the last thing I was expecting to find here. And they do occur in the Mara, but there are not that many around. It's super special to see them out here because there's only a few select places where there's enough cover and enough foliage for them to browse on. The rest of the Mara is all open grassland, which they can't inhabit. Oh, that is so special. Wow. I feel like today is just such a lucky day. And to round it all off, there's a new bird for the list. A bare-faced go-away bird. And although fairly common in this region, this is actually the first one I've seen. And I don't think that they get seen that regularly. They normally stay up close to the escarpment. So if you happen to be lucky, you might catch a glimpse of one. And as birds so often do, it decided to fly away. But I'll take that as a cue to move on from one group of animals to the next. And we just can't pass by without taking another look and just admiring this next group of wildebeest. I mean, there are millions of animals here. This is one of the most spectacular sights of these migration herds I've had since being in the Mara. It really is just awe-inspiring. I'm dumbfounded. Oh, and look at that. It looks like there's some hyenas running around in the middle. Look at how the wildebeest have actually created this massive clearing in the middle of nowhere where the hyenas are. Maybe there's even a den there. I do see them running towards some termite mounds, which could mean the wildebeest are going, nope, we're not going anywhere near you. Because they know very well that although hyenas are technically classified as scavengers, they actually are incredible hunters as well. So if I was those wildebeest, I would stay far away from those hyenas as well. But just look at this view. I mean, does it get better than this? I would argue not. Just wow. But for the sake of seeing what else is out there, we are going to leave this beautiful view behind, because on the radio we heard about some lions that are not too far from where we are right now, and we want to check out and see who they could be. Well, it looks like only one male here so far. There's a few spatterings of rain as well, and I see the clouds are building up in the distance, so I wonder if there's not some ominous weather deciding to pull through very soon. But he's not sleeping, he is alert. He's quite relaxed though. There's not much cover for him to go to, so I presume even if it does start to pour, he's going to be quite relaxed there. But what a beautiful male lion he is. He's got a couple of scars on his face. There's one in particular that's quite prominent on his right side of his muzzle there. It goes all the way down, almost from his nose to the corner of his mouth. But other than that, he looks in very healthy condition. Now, he's the only male that we can see here, and the only male that has been called in this morning. And it seems like he is one of a coalition of 5 males that roam around different parts of the Mara Triangle. They pretty much dominate this entire area. The guides tell me that they are in control of at least 5 different prides, 3 on this side of the river and 2 in the Greater Mara on the opposite side of the river, which means the other 4 could be split anywhere amongst the prides in this region. Or they could be lying off in the distance somewhere. Oh, but look, he's quite alert. What is he watching? Aha! I think I know what he's watching. I can see some lionesses in the distance. I think he's keeping his eye on, trying to make sure that they're not disappearing anywhere, but he also wants to have a bit of a snooze in this cold, damp weather. I don't blame him. He's on a perfect vantage point there. He can climb up on the termite mound if he wants an even better one, but there's plenty of view all around him at this point, so he doesn't really need to. And it's so open, I mean, there's no reason for him to really care for a better vantage point. But let's take a little bit of a closer look at those lionesses that he keeps watching. Now, we have no idea which pride this is. They probably do have a name that they go by, but the guides here are not super sure. Oh, but that's interesting. Look at that lioness in the front that's watching us now. Look at her left eye. Can you see how it's almost blue in colour? It's like a milky grey-blue kind of colour. She's very intrigued by the vehicles as well, which is interesting. Most of the animals are super relaxed here. We have given them a fair amount of space as well, just to make sure, because we aren't sure which pride this is. But it looks like she's actually blind in that left eye. But it's amazing that the rest of the eye is completely intact. So she may have gotten it from some sort of an infection. Maybe something went in her eye, maybe a stick, or maybe even a claw from a fight had actually cut her eye. And amazingly so, the skin around her eye is perfectly fine, but her eye itself, unfortunately, has lost its vision. Oh, they're getting up. Oh, look at the stretch. Oh, I love that. That looked like a good stretch. Look at how cuddly they're being. Wow, that's fascinating. They often give a little bit of a head rub and they do groom each other. But I think it's also because they're getting a little bit excited. The weather's cool, it's crisp, it's raining. They're a little bit chilly, so they want to get up and moving so that they can warm themselves up a bit. And I do get the sense that they're not very used to vehicles just based on their reaction to us when we arrived. They were watching us. They still are. Look at that lioness. She's keeping an eye. just to make sure we're not coming closer. And not that we're pushing them in any way, but I think they've maybe come from an area where they're not used to seeing as many vehicles. Or maybe their territory is in an area where there's just not that many roads very close to where they normally hang around. They could very well be one of the prides that's decided to follow these wildebeest herds, and they've now stuck to this area because that male, I'm guessing, is dominant over this pride. I'm assuming that this is one of the 5 prides that these males are actually controlling, because otherwise he would have chased them by now. He would have tried to figure out what's going on here, and he'd be being a lot more aggressive. Oh, look at these 2 cuddling in the grass, playing around a little bit. Look at that. Now that playful nature tells me they're still quite young. Normally lionesses, the older they get, the less playful they get. They start to get this very stoic, serious kind of personality around them, I want to say. Not always, they do still have that playful nature, but not as much as these guys seem to have. So I think it's very possible that these 4 could even be sisters that have broken off from a different pride, and they've now established a smaller territory here. There's one lioness is still watching us. But the other 3 don't seem to be too concerned. They're now lying a little bit further off, grooming each other and enjoying some bonding. And this is really important for them, especially if they've moved out of an area that they are comfortable with, following these wildebeest herds, and they've now ended up in an area that they're not so familiar with. They are going to need their bond to be airtight, because they're going to need to rely on each other to protect one another. Obviously it helps with hunting as well, and of course it has other benefits to it as well. Those very rough tongues, I'm sure if any of you have ever seen the tongue of a house cat or have house cats at home, you know that they've got those little comb-like hairs on their tongue, which help them with grooming. Same with lions, and it's even rougher. It's almost exactly like a hairbrush would feel like. And so it's just picking out any little bits of debris, any grass seeds, maybe even ticks and things that are getting stuck to each other. And they need one another to be able to groom themselves. I have seen lionesses that get a little bit old and grey, and they start splitting off from the rest of the pride because they simply can't keep up. And it is just the natural procession of things. And they tend to start getting a lot of ticks and things in their hair, because obviously they can't reach every spot. I love the leg over the head. That's brilliant. Being a little bit playful while the other one's trying to groom her. But for now, while it's stopped raining, they're just enjoying a warm patch of grass. So we are going to leave them to continue their grooming and start making our way slowly back up north, because we've gone quite far from camp at this point. And of course making our way back towards these wildebeest herds. One thing that we have not really been able to see that has been called in on the radio is some cheetah, so we need to speed up quite a bit. It might be a bit of a challenge if we have to push through all of these migration herds. Depends if they're on the road or not. But I will take that kind of a traffic jam over town traffic and city traffic any day of the week. Come on, wildebeest, we need to go. Oh, it looks like we've got here just in time to at least catch a glimpse of these cheetah. They've already gotten up and moved from where they were seen, but look at how full those bellies are. And look at how quickly they're moving. Now that the sun's come out, it's very weird weather today. I don't know what's going on. It's raining, then it's sunny, then it's raining. Now it's hot. So with full bellies like that, they definitely want to get out of the sun and into some shade as quickly as possible. But I find it so fascinating to see them up on top of the hillsides when typically you'd see cheetah way down in the open grassland. But we are going to leave them be because we can't follow them up there. So at least we got a quick glimpse of them. I just can't believe our luck. It's just been one of those safaris. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment in the comment section down below. We would love to hear from you and all of your thoughts on this week's WILDwatch Virtual Safari.